It's midnight and you tune into Nightline with me, Zahir, Kelvin and Abdullah. The top stories. Strong and stable government yields power for accountability, says PM. Also, Hamas demands end to war and lifting of Israeli blockade. Good morning. We begin Nightline with this story. Hamas has called for an immediate end to the war and the lifting of the Israeli blockade on Gaza following a United Nations declaration of famine in parts of the territory a day earlier. In a statement, the group urged the UN and Security Council to take urgent steps to halt the violence and remove the restrictions, and demanded the unimpeded opening of crossings to allow the sustained delivery of essential supplies including food, medicine, water and fuel. The group further stated that the UN's declaration confirmed the humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in Gaza and accused Israel of employing starvation as a tool of war. The UN on Friday officially declared a famine in Gaza, the first in West Asia, with experts warning that 514,000 Palestinians are already facing catastrophic hunger, a number expected to rise to 641,000 by the end of September. The assessment of famine was made by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification Initiative, a coalition of monitors tasked by the UN to warn of impending crisis. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Foreign Ministry on Friday urged all countries to shape their relationship with Israel based on adherence to international law and UN resolutions. In a statement, the ministry condemned Israeli incursions in the West Bank, criticized its disregard for global consensus on settlements, and urged international action to enforce compliance with international law. It also called on all countries that have not yet recognized Palestine to do so promptly in order to protect the two-state solution before it becomes unattainable. Several countries, including the United Kingdom, France and Australia, had announced intentions to recognize Palestine during the UN General Assembly meetings in September. In the meantime, Zionist forces killed over 70 Palestinians in the past 24 hours, heavily pounding the enclave. 37 people, including 10 aid seekers, were among the victims in a series of Zionist strikes on Gaza in the early hours of Saturday. Israeli artillery shelled tents sheltering displaced families in the Asda'a area northwest of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, killing 16 people, including 6 children. In a separate attack, 2 people were killed in central Gaza in an Israeli drone strike on a house in the Maghazi refugee camp. Zionist forces have also conducted several raids across the occupied West Bank, including in Tulkarem, Jenin and Nablus. Back home, Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim has underscored his administration's commitment to accountability and reform. The Prime Minister stated that only a bold and strong government would willingly surrender certain powers to Parliament to ensure transparency and good governance. Speaking at the Madani Rakyat program in Dataran Nilai, he said this included the Public Finance and Fiscal Responsibility Act 2023, which requires the Finance Minister to present economic growth projections and debt reduction plans for parliamentary approval.
Memastikan jangan ada lagi amalan sakau, menyeleweng, memperkayakan tokoh-tokoh dan memiskinkan negara. Hanya kerajaan yang kukuh dan berani sahaja yang sanggup menyerahkan kuasa ini untuk dianggap sebagai satu pertanggungjawaban.
Anwar said that the Public Finance and Fiscal Responsibility Bill 2023 has already been passed in the Senate, reinforcing oversight over economic policy. He also cited the tabling of the government procurement bill now being debated in the Dewan Rakyat as further proof of the government's commitment to transparency. The Prime Minister said that except for national security purchases, all government procurement, either at the federal, state or local level, must follow clear procedures and tender processes, something past administrations had never done. At a separate event, Anwar called for defence assets sourced from abroad to be acquired through direct government-to-government negotiations. He said this approach would not only reduce costs but also prevent leakages and abuse. Speaking at the launch of MilDef Technologies Sindiran Berhad's new production facility in Senjayan, Anwar stressed the need for greater transparency in such processes to eliminate outdated practices that have contributed to corruption.
Ini saya tegaskan yang juga diulang oleh Menteri dan Kementerian Pertahanan. Sedapat boleh unding di antara, kalau nak beli dari luar, unding kerajaan dengan kerajaan direct, dia boleh turunkan kos dan kita boleh letakkan syarat berapa lambat, berapa orang nak dilatih, boleh tak masuk dalam bidang pendidikan, boleh tak technological transfer, itu boleh dibuat direct.
The Prime Minister added that the procurement of defence assets, which involves significant expenditure, must be carried out with efficiency and integrity.
Saya rasa cukup tersinggung kerana sebagai negara yang mencatat pembangunan dan pertumbuhan yang membanggakan, perolehan kita sangat lemah walaupun belanja tinggi. Tetapi seperti yang kita tahu, baik LCS dan lain-lain, kapal tak sampai, jadi bahan lucuan bertahun-tahun.
The Prime Minister said Malaysia's defence sector should lead by example with integrity and excellence and should be a source of pride for the nation. In another development, the Prime Minister has once again reminded the public not to turn issues concerning the national flag into a point of contention that could divide communities. He stressed that authorities must take firm action without fear or favour to uphold the dignity of the Jalur Gemilang.
Ada yang menghangatkan suhu antara perpecahan antara kaum. Jangan salah faham, saya tidak katakan untuk bendera itu tidak penting. Bendera itu tanda, ya, lambang kebanggaan negara. Jadi kena jaga. Kalau dulu silap-silap boleh kita maafkan, tapi sekarang kalau ada lagi yang dapat lihat macam itu sama ada jabatan kerajaan atau swasta, harus ada tindakan.
The Prime Minister also called on all parties to strengthen unity and love for the nation in conjunction with the National Month by respecting the national flag as a symbol of sovereignty. He added that unity must continue to be nurtured to safeguard peace and elevate Malaysia's standing on the global stage. The comments followed several recent incidents where the Jalur Gemilang was found to have been hoisted or flown upside down, sparking public outrage. Meanwhile, investigations into incidents involving the upside-down display of the national flag must be thorough to determine whether the act was intentional or a genuine mistake. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said any stern action or heavy penalties against individuals involved should be assessed based on the provisions and suitability of existing laws.
Kalau berlaku insiden-insiden yang setelah kita siasat, kita dapati bahawa itu betul tak sengaja. Orang tu begitu bersemangat naik, kan? Dan ketika itu orang tengok dan orang buat aduan di sana. Jom kita kena establish apakah disengajakan dengan niat jahat atau betul-betul hilaf, tidak sengajaan.
The minister explained that police will take action under the Emblems and Names Act and possibly the Minor Offences Act, depending on the circumstances. As part of the investigation process, authorities will look into whether such mistakes were carried out as an act of mockery or simply reflected a lack of awareness or patriotism. However, Saifuddin noted that an overly harsh approach could discourage Malaysians from flying the national flag altogether. Moving on, the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, or MCMC, has been urged to track down a local celebrity suspected of selling pornographic videos through the Telegram messaging app. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadzil stressed that the sale of obscene material is a criminal offence and punishable under the law.
Transaksi yang melibatkan bahan seperti itu, bahan lucah, adalah satu jenayah sejak kita buat pindaan yang berkuat kuasa bulan April tahun ini dan boleh ditangkap. Dia adalah seizable offence.
The minister was speaking at the launch of the Denyut Nadi Merdeka campaign and the announcement of Rapid KL special operations in conjunction with Malaysia's 68th National Day celebrations in Kuala Lumpur. Recently, a social media post went viral alleging that a local celebrity had offered access to her private videos on Telegram for 133 ringgit each and limited to the first 1,000 buyers. In another development, the Communications Minister has denied issuing any statement or directive to block content related to the death of Form 1 student Zahra Khairina Mahathir. Fahmi said the allegations were completely false and amounted to defamation. A police report has since been lodged against the owner of a Facebook account suspected of spreading the slander. He added that the report was also submitted to the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, for further action. Fahmi also urged the public to stop spreading misinformation and not to exploit such issues for personal gain. Now, the Health Ministry is aiming to present a full memorandum on the proposed ban of electronic cigarettes and vaping to the Cabinet by the end of this year at the latest. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said an initial report had already been submitted to the Cabinet on Friday. A detailed report is now being finalized by the Ministry's expert committee before a final proposal is tabled. He said the Ministry is avoiding setting a fixed deadline as it wants to ensure the process is thorough and not implemented in a piecemeal fashion. He added that Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim is fully committed to the initiative and wants the process to be expedited. Dr. Zulkifli clarified that vaping is already regulated under Act 852, but the complete prohibition requires a nationwide and decisive approach.
Demi mempertahan prinsip, keberanian politik dan kesatuan serantau, memperkukuh ekosistem serantau yang inklusif, kemerdekaan dan kedaulatan, bolehkah ASEAN pertahan hak negara kecil? Kupasannya dalam Soal Rakyat bersama tetamu Profesor Madya Dr. Muhammad Mahadi Ismail dan Profesor Dr. Muhammad Mizan Aslam. Sabtu 30 Ogos 5.30 petang hanya di TV3.
The new ETS-3 electric train service on KTM Berhad's southern route will officially begin operations on August 30th. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim officiated the launch on Saturday and even took the driver's seat himself, steering the train from Kuala Lumpur to Johor on a 3.5-hour journey. His Majesty's arrival at the Kuala Lumpur station at 7:45 a.m. was welcomed by Transport Minister Anthony Loke. Following the special launching ceremony, Sultan Ibrahim personally took the controls of the ETS-3 train, which is capable of reaching operating speeds of up to 140 kilometers per hour for a journey to the Kluang station in Johor. At the Kluang station, His Majesty also officiated the opening of the Makota Rail Park, a landmark 2.8-kilometre public park built beneath the viaduct alignment of the Gemas Johor Bahru Electric Double-Track project. The King holds a unique distinction in railway history. In 2010, he became the first Sultan in the country to hold a high-powered locomotive license, and that same year drove a train for a 391-kilometre journey during the Kembara Makota Johor program. Public misconceptions about debt collectors persist when in fact they come in many forms. Association of Professional Debt Collection Agencies Malaysia President Zahir Haswin said this perception must change as legitimate debt collectors operate within the law and do not depend on intimidation tactics.
The moment the debtor is contactable, then the discussion become easy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So there's either we can provide solution or we can, restructure their loans. There's many ways of doing it, but they have to come forward and discuss.
Right.
Able to assist our members.
Zahir said this while appearing as a guest on TV3's flagship business and financial talk show, Money Matters, which was aired on Saturday. He also urged debtors to engage with their creditors and explore possible payment arrangements if they are unable to keep up with payments.
On the operational side, if we can have
4 teenagers killed in accident. The details right after this break.
Kita orang Sarawak, macam-macam aktiviti best minggu kita di studio tonton Drama Sangat. Ada gaya macam ratu, pertandingan ratu etnik Drama Sangat dah tunggu. Untuk adik-adik, tunjukkan bakat Nurana Ejen Ali sambil bergambar dengan maskot Ejen Ali. Yang hati kental, boleh cuba masuk trail rumah hantu. Dan mestilah personaliti media prima dan artis Drama Sangat pun ada. Selfie banyak-banyak, okey? Jumpa kita semua di Karnival Jom Heboh Sarawak, dataran perayaan Petra Jaya Kuching 5 hingga 7 September ini. Jom, jom, jom!
Ada drama baru lah kat Facebook. Nak download lah tu. Ingat, jangan download ataupun share laman web Cetak Rompa. Jangan.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Teruskan ikuti Nona.
Sebelum kita masuk satu kawasan tu, kita akan mengkaji dulu. So dengan ada guidance daripada orang berpengalaman, so tak ada masalah untuk kawan-kawan join program-program macam ni.
Saya faham keadaan orang di sekeliling saya. Saya tak pernah buta pada realiti. Dan jangan terlalu riak dengan kejayaan sampai lupa diri.
Saya tak sangka saya menang. Hari ini membawa konsep pop royalty, combination klasik dan moden. And colour blue ni inspirasi daripada mata dia sendiri.
Baca doa dulu. Allah Akbar, lupa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftahli abwaba rahmatika. Ya Allah, bukakanlah pintu-pintu rahmatmu untuk kami. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Lagi satu jangan lupa, kita kena niat iktikaf dulu. Okey. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nawaitu li'iktikaf fil hazal masjid lillahi ta'ala. Sahaja aku beriktikaf dalam masjid ni kerana Allah Ta'ala. Baru boleh masuk. Ini tak lupa. Jom.
Sorry lah.
Thanks for staying with us. A horrific crash claimed the lives of 4 teenagers after their car veered off the road in Banting, Selangor on Saturday. 2 other passengers were also severely injured in the incident. Kuala Langat District Police Chief Superintendent Akmal Rizal Radzi said the teenagers were travelling from Pantai Morib to Telok Panglima Garang when the accident occurred around 5 a.m. along Jalan Sultan Sulaiman Shah near Kampong Chodoy. Initial investigations revealed that the driver is believed to have fallen asleep at the wheel. This caused the car to veer into the opposite lane before crashing into a roadside ditch and hitting a concrete embankment. Those killed were identified as Muhammad Adib Anwar and Muhammad Danish Shamsul Sharizan, both aged 16, along with 19-year-old Haris Nazri. Another victim, 19-year-old Muhammad Danish Farhan alias, was pronounced dead at Banting Hospital at 11 a.m. while receiving treatment. The injured victims were Haris's younger brother, 17-year-old Danish Haikal, and 15-year-old Daniel Ikwan Jalaluddin. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Meanwhile, in Johor, a man was killed in a 12-vehicle pileup in Muar on Saturday. The crash, which occurred at about 7:30 a.m., involved 6 lorries, 5 cars and a van. Muar District Police Chief ACP Rais Mukhlis Abdul Aziz said preliminary investigations found that the crash occurred when a lorry broke down and stopped in the emergency lane. The vehicle then emitted thick smoke, blocking the view of another lorry behind it, which slammed into the stationary truck. Several other vehicles that were following behind collided into each other. The victim, a lorry driver, was trapped in his seat and pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel. 6 other drivers were injured, while 5 escaped unhurt. Another motorcyclist believed to be on his way to the RXZ 7.0 rally was killed after colliding with a trailer lorry in Perak. In the 9 a.m. crash on Friday, 36-year-old Rosiman Abu Aziz was riding on the Gerik-Jeli East-West Highway when the accident took place. Gerik Police Chief Superintendent Abdul Samad Othman said the victim was believed to have lost control of his motorcycle when navigating a bend before skidding into the opposite lane and crashing into the trailer lorry. Following several fatal accidents involving participants of the gathering, government spokesperson Datuk Fahmi Fazil said the government will review safety aspects of the event's organisation. In Kelantan, a man was arrested after he attempted to run over police officers on patrol in Gua Musang. The suspect, who was found in possession of drugs, also rammed into a police patrol vehicle before being chased for 55 kilometers. The incident occurred at 6:22 p.m. on Thursday when patrol officers received reports of a suspicious vehicle. Police attempted to intercept the car, but the suspect sped off and tried to ram into the officers. In self-defense, one of the officers fired one shot at the vehicle's right rear tire but missed. The suspect managed to escape once again before being chased down and was eventually apprehended. After he was arrested, police checks revealed that the suspect was in possession of substances believed to be 1.47 grams of shabu and 33 yaba pills. The suspect also tested positive for drugs. Five dead in New York bus crash. This and more when Nightline returns.
Kita orang Sarawak, macam-macam aktiviti best minggu kita di studio tonton drama sangat. Ada gaya macam ratu, pertandingan ratu etnik drama sangat dah tunggu. Untuk adik-adik, tunjukkan bakat nurana Ejen Ali sambil bergambar dengan maskot Ejen Ali. Yang hati kental, boleh cuba masuk trail rumah hantu. Dan mestilah personaliti media prima dan artis drama sangat pun ada. Selfie banyak-banyak, okey? Jumpa kita semua di Karnival Jom Heboh Sarawak, dataran perayaan Petra Jaya Kuching 5 hingga 7 September ini. Jom, jom, jom!
Perasaan memang sedih lah sebabnya inilah pertama kali anak sakit yang seteruk macam ni. Sebabnya satu, bila doktor cakap penyakit ni jarang jumpa, lepas tu macam ubat dia apa belum jumpa lagi. Dah tak ada saya macam ni, saya terima lah.
Ada insan di sekeliling kita yang memerlukan bantuan. Ada di kalangan ahli keluarga, mereka diam namun sebenarnya mereka segan untuk bertanya apa yang mereka perlukan. Ada kalangan sahabat kita dalam keperitan yang perlu kita santuni. Inilah erti rasa yang perlu kita gerakkan dalam menyambut kemerdekaan. Ayuh, hadiri Malaysia Quran Hour, Merdeka dengan Rasa.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini Isnin bermotivasi dengan agama. Selasa di sebalik syariat azan. Rabu terbit matahari dari barat. Khamis belajar erti syukur. Jumaat bahaya ilmu tanpa amal. Sabtu dosa sesama manusia. Ahad jaga hak Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu, jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga ditonton.
News from the foreign front. U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary Michael Faulkender is stepping down after less than 5 months in office, marking another sudden departure by a senior official in the early days of the Trump administration. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Friday thanked Falkender for his work at the department but gave no reason for his departure. Falkender has managed Treasury operations across a wide policy portfolio, including tax, international finance, sanctions, and financial regulation. He is the second Senate-confirmed official to leave the department this month, following IRS Commissioner Billy Long, who later said he was being tapped as ambassador to Iceland. Still in the U.S., at least 5 people were killed and many were injured when a tour bus returning to New York City from Niagara Falls with 54 people on board crashed on an interstate highway. The bus reportedly left the highway about 40 kilometers east of Buffalo on Friday when the crash occurred. Authorities said the driver, who survived, is believed to have been distracted, lost control at high speed and oversteered, causing the bus to flip into a roadside ditch. Most passengers from India, China and the Philippines were either ejected during the crash or trapped in the wreckage for hours. More than 40 people sustained injuries, including head trauma and broken limbs. An investigation into the cause of the crash is underway. On to sports now. Bowling and the 22nd Asian Youth Championships. Malaysia roared back into contention as Aiman Shaheen Sulaiman and Ethan Damien Goh stormed to the boys' doubles gold on Saturday. The duo combined superbly for a 12-game total of 2,696 pinfalls, finishing well ahead of the UAE's Abdul Razak Muhammad Hassan Kasim on 2,611 pinfalls and third places Itea Saotome Fumine Suda of Japan. It was the perfect response after a disappointing singles outing on Friday, where Aiman managed only 6 as Malaysia's best performer. Compatriots Wan Zarif Ikram and Daniel Abu Sama struggled for rhythm, ending 23rd with 2,265 pinfalls. Meanwhile, in the girls' division, Adilia Noor Irwan Shazali and Adania Rizwan came agonizingly close to the podium, finishing 4th on 2,431, just 25 pins shy of bronze, which went to Japan's Kiri Watanabe and Mao Kondo. Moving on to football and the Super League. 2 more matches were played on Saturday night. PDRM FC were held to a goalless draw against Melaka FC. Meanwhile, in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah FC's wait for a first home win continues after they were frustrated by Kelantan, the Real Warriors FC, to a goalless draw at the Likas Stadium. Kelantan nearly struck early when Muhammad Azwan's shot in the 6th minute drifted just wide. Sabah responded soon through Brazilian defender Gabriel Perez, but his header also failed to hit the target. The Rhinos kept pressing after the break, while Perez again going close in the 53rd minute. The crowd thought the breakthrough had finally come in the 86th minute when Azhad Haras Arman found the net, but the goal was ruled out for offside, leaving both sides to share the points in a goalless draw. Turning to cycling, the 2025 Seoul International Mountain Bike Challenge, or SIMBC. Indonesian rider Zainal Fanini showcased his class by storming to victory in the elite men's cross-country short circuit, or XCC category in Kuching, Sarawak on Saturday. The Thrill Factory racing rider crossed the line in 35 minutes 4 seconds ahead of Japan's Tatsumi Soejima, while fellow Indonesian Ferry Yudhoyono of Asia Union TCS Racing Team rounded out the podium. In the elite women's race, Indonesia's Sayu Bella Sukmadewi of Asia Union TCS Racing Team topped the podium in 30 minutes 23 seconds. Malaysia's Nordina Safia Norafandi delivered an impressive performance to take second, finishing 22 seconds ahead of third place Yui Ishida of Japan. The results reaffirm Indonesia's dominance in Asian mountain biking, while also highlighting the rise of promising Malaysian talent on the international stage. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look at the stunning beauty of Bavaria's Ebbsee Lake, where crystal clear waters and breathtaking mountain views have captured the hearts of millions around the world. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.